Hi, welcome to another episode of Classy Pitch. I'm Dr. H. Have you ever been told that you should practice hands separately when you're learning a new piece? Today we're going to talk about if you should practice hands separately and why you should do it. Generally, I do recommend my students to practice separate hands when they're learning a new piece. That way they can focus on each hand better, and they can lower the chances of playing wrong notes, wrong rhythm, and other mistakes. There are thousands of things to pay attention to on music, such as notes, rhythm, dynamic, and articulations. And if you learn both hands together, it is pretty much impossible for you to pay attention to all the details. When I'm learning a new piece, I also like to practice hands separately. If the piece is not too difficult, then a couple of times might be enough. But if the piece is more demanding, then you might need more time with individual hands. I love being able to process all the details when I'm doing separate hand practice. The biggest benefit of practicing hands separately is to really know and understand what your hands are doing individually. It will help you memorize faster and more accurately, and it will also solidify your technique. Next, when you put both hands together after you've done the work individually, I will use a tempo that's a little slower so that you can have the same kind of control as you would when you're doing separate hands. One thing, please do not confuse practicing separate hands with sight reading. Yes, you should be able to sight read both hands together, but when it comes down to practicing and working on details, doing it separate hands will get you better results. Okay, now let's talk about common mistakes. There are two very common problems that students usually run into. Problem 1. Sometimes when the hands are separated, it's actually not difficult to play, but when you put both hands together, the coordination made it really hard. Some pieces require more coordination than others, such as fugues and pieces that have more than two voices. When you're prepping for this kind of pieces, practice with separate hands, you will learn all the notes and the articulation first. But when you put both hands together, it might seem quite difficult and it might seem like a setback. This is completely normal. It's just a learning process, regardless if you start with both hands together or separate hands. Expect it and keep pushing through. Problem number 2. When you put both hands back together, you realize the fingering doesn't coordinate. When both hands have very demanding parts, it's very important to figure out the fingering with both hands together. I would recommend you to figure out the fingering with both hands before you go into separate hand practice. I remember that I was told by a teacher that we should treat both hands equally. In order to do so, we should practice them like they are equally as important instead of thinking one hand is accompanying another. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment area below, or you can email me at classypitch@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter or Instagram at classypitch. Again, I'm Dr. H. See you next time. Stay classy.